So that dichotomy between the two central banks is likely to push up the value of the dollar. Gregory Daco, Oxford Economics. With the Fed showing concerns over fiscal policy uncertainty, what are your predictions for the US economy going forward? Are we going to see more rate hikes?
Yeah, I think in the context of an economy that's growing at about a 2 to 2.5% pace and gradually accelerating, we expect the Fed to actually raise rates twice this year, with the first rate hike coming sometime in the second quarter of 2017, and the second rate hike likely to occur towards the end of the year.
As the dollar dropped following the release of the Fed's minutes, euro stocks held steady. What does this tell us about the current state of the euro?
Well, I think when it comes to exchange rates, we have to factor in the two sides of the coin. On one side, you have a U.S. economy that is gradually picking up in terms of pace. An economy that started 2016 at a very slow 1% pace has gradually accelerated to a pace closer to 2.5%. An economy that is showing still this ongoing dichotomy between stronger consumer spending and relatively hesitant business investment, but an economy also in which we're starting to see rising inflationary pressures. And in that environment, we expect the Fed to gradually tighten monetary policy. On the other side, we have the ECB that remains very much accommodative and continues to support the Eurozone economy through ongoing quantitative easing and ongoing stimulus through very low interest rates. So that dichotomy between the two central banks is likely to push up the value of the dollar. Now, that doesn't mean that if we start to see some reversal in the two trends that I described, we can see some weakening of the U.S. dollar. But generally, the trend is going to be for a stronger U.S. dollar.
China Caixin manufacturing PMI rose in December 2016 for the sixth straight month of growth. What does this tell us about the Chinese economy at the start of 2017?
Well, I think when you look at the Chinese economy, you have an economy that is still doing fairly well overall. An economy, yes, that is slowing, but the more important element in the Chinese economy is the shift in the nature of growth. The authorities in China are gradually shifting away from a growth model that's purely dominated by exports and by investment, and focusing more and more on the services sector, on consumer spending. And in that environment, the sectors that are facing increased excess capacity, if you think of mining, real estate, heavy industry sectors, those sectors are likely to fare less well in the future, especially as the government tries to curb credit growth. But we're also going to see ongoing gains in terms of consumer spending, in terms of services, hopefully supported by solid income growth. So in that environment, we expect the Chinese economy to grow at a more subdued pace, around the mid to low 6%. And we expect Chinese authorities also to keep a close eye on the exchange rate that had been depreciating, but that had been defended to some extent by the use of foreign reserves, although in the last few days we've actually seen the renminbi rise on expectations of somewhat stronger growth in the Chinese economy.
Thank you, Greg, for your expert views. I'm Jack Everett, and I'll be back on Monday for the week ahead. Until then, goodbye.